There is a phenomenon that disproportionately affects members of the magical community that we need to talk about. It's called spiritual psychosis. And while people of all religious and spiritual backgrounds can experience it, this disorder seems particularly present within the witchcraft and occult communities. Spiritual awakening and spiritual psychosis are two sides of the same coin. The Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of an intense spiritual experience or perception. And frankly, I think it's pretty damaging to our community that there isn't more open discussion and dialogue around these experiences and the difference between the two and the help that is needed for people who are experiencing spiritual psychosis. This seems like a really good place to remind you that I am not currently a mental health professional, and I am 100% not your mental health professional. I'm here to bring awareness to an issue today, not to offer diagnosis or a treatment plan for anybody. I am not legally able to do that. And because I don't know you personally, I wouldn't even dare. I'm also not able to offer anybody absolution for their behavior or confirmation of their experiences. This is a YouTube video, friends. Don't ever get your mental or medical health guidance from a witch on the internet. Like, not ever. Not even from me. Take this video as it is intended. A starting place to a long overdue conversation. Caveat achieved, mischief managed. Okay, so the simplest distinction between spiritual psychosis and spiritual awareness is the impact that the experience is having on your life. If it's causing problems, wide range or long-term problems in your life, then it's a problem, a disorder. If it's not, then it's not. If it's something that has given you insight and awareness and is a net positive in your life, then we can call that spiritual awakening, spiritual awareness. Spiritual awakening can be profound and life-altering, but its impact is, again, a net positive. You may be experiencing visions or having moments of gnosis that on the surface might seem like hallucinations or delusions to others, but they aren't driving a wedge between you and your friends or you and your family. They aren't making it harder for you to take care of yourself on a daily basis. They aren't causing you distress or emotional pain. In fact, if it's a spiritual awakening, you're likely experiencing a lot of positives. Maybe you're suddenly able to frame some of your more traumatic life events in a way that helps you heal from that trauma, or you feel less lonely despite physical or emotional isolation from other people. Or perhaps you even find yourself better able to cope with everyday challenges. Those are all really positive things that spiritual awakening can help unlock. Most people going through spiritual awakening find their world is now infused with meaning, with purpose, with strength, and even with love. They're able to better connect with others because they have a better understanding of themselves and their place in the universe. Spiritual psychosis, on the other hand, is the evil twin, the Mr. Hyde. Your visions cause you fear or sadness that feels impossible to shake. Your relationships might become challenged or strained. Maybe you can no longer find purpose or meaning in your work, your hobbies, or the activities of daily living that our meat suits require. You might find yourself losing friendships, feeling paranoid about people that have been part of your support system in the past. And now you find yourself in a place of isolation. Let's stop here really fast for a quick word from promo Lorelei. Blatant self-promotion Lorelei popping into blatantly self-promote. I just want to make sure that you know about the Red Thread Academy. If you're interested in learning about traditional folkloric and or initiatory witchcraft, then I've got a treat for you. These 3 books represent 3 years of structured yet flexible curriculum to guide you from dedication through 3rd degree initiation in an actual branch of witchcraft, the Spiral Castle tradition. You get weekly lessons, rituals, recommended reading lists, grimoire pages aligned to the content, and access to a vibrant community of witches via our Discord server. And when I say content, I mean actual, actionable, detailed, meaningful content. You should know that this is a rigorous and real witchcraft course. In fact, I initially started writing these course guides as a way to help my own coven with distance learning during 2020. They convey the teachings and rituals of the Spiral Castle tradition, just as if you were learning and practicing within our home coven. I'm not actually sure that anything else like this quite exists right now. If you want to learn more, you can check out the shop on my website at lorelaiblack.com. Be sure to use discount code bladeandbroom15 at checkout to get 15% off your order, just for being awesome and hanging out with me on YouTube. Okay, that's all. Get back in there. Thank you, Promo Lorelei. We're going to get back to this now. Very often, spiritual psychosis centers around feelings of threat and danger. Apocalyptic themes are really common, as is persecution by evil entities, whether those are seen as demons, humans, aliens, etc. There's some kind of other, though. So even if they are humans, they are an other kind of human than you, who is out to get you, out to threaten you and your loved one's way of life, or, the very core existence of your being. A person experiencing spiritual psychosis may think that they are especially chosen to warn or to save others from some kind of mystical or unseen threat. Often they see themselves as the only one that can see or deal with that threat. That threat, by the way, feels huge and very, very, very real. I am in no way trying to diminish what a person who is going through spiritual psychosis is feeling. It is a clear and present danger in their minds. The person can become very agitated when others don't respond in a way that they feel is appropriate. And friends, I really hate to say it, but I have seen a lot of cases of spiritual psychosis in our magical community over the decades that I've been a practitioner. I feel fortunate that my own first spiritual teacher was a pragmatist in a great number of ways, and she taught me early to do a few simple things. In fact, there are 3 things we're going to talk about. So the first is to look for and address second realm causes first. In many shamanic and early European belief structures, this world that we see and experience as physical and tangible is layered between the invisible spiritual realms, right? So as a shorthand, we call this world the second realm, but you can think of it as consensus reality, Midgard, the waking world, etc. Start here in your search for answers when your peace is disrupted. Have you been eating and sleeping well? Are you dehydrated? Is there upheaval or trauma that is happening around you or to you right now? Have you lost a loved one recently? Have you been confronted with shocking news? Are you going through a loss of some kind? Is your home life in a state of upheaval? These are all things that can really shock our system and cause unexpected ripples out into other parts of our lives. Have you stopped or maybe just started taking a medication? Our brains are really, really powerful, and they are the organ that we use to experience literally everything that we like to experience and to interpret literally everything that we consider reality. And it is so, so easy for them to glitch. Not enough water, not enough sleep, too much sun, not the right medication, a shock. Any of that can make our brains start to glitch. So start second realm first. Make sure you're taking care of your physical hardware, my friends. The second point is to do some basic reality testing. So this is going to involve talking to people that you trust, other practitioners of your spiritual path, people that you've built a relationship with, medical or mental health professionals who don't have a dim view of spiritual or even magical practice, close friends, maybe a psychic reader. If it's somebody that is vetted, that you can trust, that has good reviews from other practitioners in the community, that is generally well respected and that isn't asking for money to help solve or fix the problems. The key here is to kind of crowdsource some feedback. Don't rely on the opinion of a single person, including yourself, really. Everyone's capable of having a blind spot or an ulterior motive. Yes, even you. Talk to some people that you trust and weigh their thoughts and their perceptions carefully. And then number 3, pay attention to the fourth power of the Sphinx. The powers are to know, to will, to dare, and to keep silent. The fourth power is all about knowing what not to share. One of my observations is that the people in our community who seem a little out there to other people in our community, who seem like maybe they are going through something, who have lost some touch with reality, who might be experiencing spiritual psychosis, those people are unable to recognize that they are maybe oversharing about their own personal gnosis with people who are not of a similar mindset. And as witches, we need to understand, as magical practitioners in general, we need to understand that not everybody is going to share our same experiences or our philosophies, and that it's really only going to feel and be safe to share what we're experiencing with other people who share those philosophies in common, those experiences in common. We should all be at least somewhat cognizant that the things we experience in ceremony, meditation, or vision might only be true and real for us as an individual. And they can seem absolutely unhinged to other people, even to other witches. When you start expecting other people to take real world action based on something that you experienced in vision or that you received as a message from your dead folks or from other spirits, you're probably headed for rough times. Does this mean that you should keep absolutely silent about all of your spiritual experiences? Absolutely not. That is not what I'm saying. Debriefing after group rituals and talking with others is a big part of reality testing. But if you start noticing that there's a disconnect when you share with people who are generally open to what you're talking about in kind of a general way, that might be a sign that you're drifting a bit. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you've got it entirely wrong, but it does mean that it's time to start keeping tabs, checking in with others, doing some of that reality testing that we were talking about. See steps 1 and 2, right? Check for real world, second realm, sources of the issues, and, and check in with people that you trust. Being a witch has historically been a very isolating experience. I'm honestly not sure if this is a chicken or an egg scenario, or which one comes first anyway. It has certainly been argued, not by me, that anyone who self-identifies as a witch must ipso facto be delusional. Or maybe people with strong spiritual experiences are just more susceptible to psychosis in the first place. I can certainly see myself as an old lady in a gingerbread house in the woods someday. Like, that could be a thing. But I've personally always seen witches as people who walk in multiple realities at once, with one foot on this side of the hedge that separates the seen and the unseen, and one foot on the other side of that hedge. But friends, it doesn't really work. Our witchcraft doesn't really work if we stop straddling the hedge. Both feet in consensus reality eliminates the mystical experience, and both feet in the mysticism means that we can't function in consensus reality. We need to be in both spaces, at least as a witch. As a parting thought, I'd say that collective trauma and societal upheaval play a big part in the increase the world seems to be experiencing right now with relation to spiritual phenomena, whether for good or for ill. So we're having a lot more positive spiritual phenomena, I think, across religious experiences. We're also having more negative spiritual phenomena. There is a lot of chaos that's happening in our lifetimes, politically, economically, environmentally. We're built to look for answers and find meaning. As humans, that's what we do. So it stands to reason that some of us are going to find those answers in the realm of spirit. That's not a bad thing, in my opinion. But witchcraft is the faith or path of the wise. And wisdom doesn't come from indulging our whims and disregarding good sense and good advice. I've loaded up some links down in the description box for you to explore this topic further. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you have other resources, let's talk in the comments. If you found today's video thought-provoking, useful, inspiring, please bless me with the magic of the like button and tell your witchy friends that good things are happening here. Tell them by sharing the video. This one or another one that you think is up their alley. It really helps the channel and lets me know what I should talk more about. All right, friends, I will see you here next time. Bye.
As I do, so much.